Yo, what's up? This is New York Giant fan 26. In recent news, if you want to know, Giants got a free agent quarterback. Sorgi was the backup quarterback from the Colts last year since we lost David Carr, which I think is going to be a not a bad loss, but something that will affect us because I like David Carr personally. I'm not saying he's better than Eli. I love Eli. David Carr is a good one, a very good backup quarterback. It's sort of like the situation. I like sort of like Phil Simms and his backup. I forgot his name, but I looked at him sort of like his backup, sort of like the Phil Simms backup. He's not as good as Phil Simms, or he's not as good as Eli, but he was good enough, well, to win, to play a few games. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's a big loss. Not a big, but just in case Eli gets hurt. Don't get me wrong, Eli's the best quarterback in the NFC East, in my opinion. Not because the thing is, Tony Romo really don't impresses me that much. Because the thing is, he was in a division where the defenses were pretty bad. The Eagle defense wasn't that good last year, honestly. It wasn't as bad as the Giant defense, but it really wasn't that good. And the fact of the matter is, the Cowboy defense was okay. It wasn't great. The offense was more of the big thing for the Cowboys, in my opinion. They just had like a good pass rush. They didn't have any dominating corners or safeties and none of that. And their special teams was pretty bad. But the thing is, in the Eagles, their offense is explosive. They'll score 7 points like that, but they live and die by the big play. So not they're I don't know. They don't scare. Well, they beat us twice, so I really can't say anything. But I think we'll be better than both of those teams next year. Because the fact of the matter is, the Giants' big weakness was the defense, and we have a better offense than the Cowboys or the Eagles, in my opinion. And the only team with a decent defense, really, in the league is probably the Redskins, but their offense is mediocre. Even though they have Mike Shanahan at this point, their offense is not going to click right away. It's going to probably be a year or two before they're competitive again. I think they go 6-10, 7, maybe 8-8. They're good. They're gonna be a good team someday. I hate the Redskins, but they're gonna be good at one point. But I don't think they're gonna be good right away. Mike Campbell's alright. He's more of those safe quarterbacks. He won't throw an interception, but he's not gonna throw a touchdown either. He might get 2 touchdowns a game, one interception, maybe a touchdown and no interceptions. But the thing is, he'll throw 16 touchdowns. The good thing about him is he only throws 7 interceptions maybe a year, but it's not that impressive. Shanahan might make him good, but I don't think it's going to be an automatic click because it takes 3 years to learn the West Coast offense. It takes a while, and most teams in the NFL don't have the patience. But I'm sure they're going to give Shanahan at least 3 years because he's a proven head Super Bowl winning coach. Made a few. He made quarterbacks that shouldn't even been Pro Bowlers. The only good quarterback he really had was John Elway, and he won 2 Super Bowls with him. But besides that point, the reason I think the Giants are going to be a better team than the Eagles or the Cowboys is the fact of the matter is we got a better offense and our defense. If this defense doesn't have to be a dominant, but it just got to be good enough where it could stop you at one point. Like the Saints defense. The Saints defense is not amazing. It's not razzle dazzle. It's not gonna stop you. It's not gonna get like 10 sacks a game, like an O, or have like interceptions like the Jets. The Saints defense will just get a turnover, fumbles. It'll do what it needs to do. It won't allow 30 point. It won't allow 30 points a game. That's the deep sort of defense my thing we're gonna have with the Giants. Because although we're gonna have a good D line, we don't have any pass rushing linebackers. I'm not gonna say we're not gonna have we're gonna have a good pass rush, but it's not gonna be dominant. And plus, the fact of the matter is we gotta learn Pat Wells' system. So I'm gonna be a little realistic here. I say we go 10-6, 11-5. That's just my opinion. I think we win the division. The main competition, in my opinion, is probably the Cowboys. Like it or not, I hate Romo. I hate Wade Phillips, but they're better than the Eagles, hands down. And the Eagles, they have the Giants' number last year, and I think they do have our number in a way. But I don't think they're good enough to beat other teams to where they can get to the point where they can catch up to us. Because I think Giants, the Cowboys might go 10-6, 11-5, because they do have the potential to be just as good as the Giants. It's whether they utilize it or not. And the fact of the matter is, the Cowboys are probably not going to improve this offseason for the fact that they're not going to be able to pick up free agents because of the new rule in the NFL. So it's not their fault that the Cowboys aren't going to get better next year. It's just because of the fact that they can't, because they can't pick up any free agents. But no knocking, not knocking anyone, but I just think the Giants are the better team overall next year. Although we had a horrible season, giving up 400 points in 1 year, that's pretty fucked up, messed up. But what are you gonna do? It's a whole another year. You got to give the Cowboys a tiny little speck of respect that they won the division. They did what they had to do. Although sweeping them was very satisfying. It really was. I enjoyed it. It was a great thing. I loved it. But I wasn't satisfied for the fact that we didn't win the division or get to the playoffs. So it's matter of pointless. Although I think if we did got to the playoffs and versed Dallas, I think we would have won. Because the fact is, it's not the fact that we were better than Dallas last year. We just had their number. Like the Eagles had our number. It wasn't the fact, well, they were better than us last year, but it was the fact that they do have our number. So even if we play at our best, they'll find a way, a little crack, get us. But I don't think the Eagles are going to probably be good enough to catch up, because the fact of the matter is they're losing pieces from their defense each year. And the O-line is not good. And McNabb is good in the regular season, but he's not going to have that O-line to protect him, really. And the Eagle fans, they'll always be on his back. Personally, I think McNabb is a good quarterback. He is a choke artist, though. He can't help. Some people just can't win in the big game. It's not his fault. He just can't step it up. But though, Eli, I love him. Best quarterback in the NFC East. He's probably, hopefully, will lead us. And by the way, he got snubbed in that Pro Bowl last year. He should have made it, not McNabb. McNabb's numbers were not good enough to make the playoffs. The fact of the matter is he lost in the first round, too. So it wasn't like he had a dominating 13-3 season like the Giants did. That was the reason why Eli got in that year. It wasn't really the stats, but it was the team, which was an understandable reason to get in. But the problem is, McNabb didn't have either of that. And Eli had better numbers, clearly. So I still don't know how he got in the Pro Bowl. Probably more votes. Whatever. Eli got snubbed. That's just my opinion last year. That was the only thing. I was honestly, after, I sort of gave up my heart a little bit after that Denver game, because I still had hope we could have won it. But it was you thought maybe you had a shot for a wild card, but you didn't think you had a shot for the division. You thought wild card after that. But, what are you going to do? It's a whole nother year. I think we'll win the division, though. We have a good shot. We have a great safety thing. We got a great safety combination. We got good corners. Webster and Thomas, or Webster and Ross, whoever wins that competition between those two. Thomas is a great backup corner. I like him as a backup. But the problem is we have no one to stop it. We had no one to stop the deep threat because we had no safeties. So we couldn't cover Deshaun Jackson. So we have two great safeties now coming back. We got two safeties coming. One safety coming back, one from free agency, whatever. But to cover Deshaun Jackson, I think. That's his name. I can't say his name right. But we'll actually be able to cover him, hopefully. Because McNabb did win that game for them. Deshaun Jackson single-handedly beat the Giants, which I thought was pretty depressing that we just got beat by one player, because we should have won that game. The Eagle defense, once again, was very overrated last year. Although it got the pressure, it has a good D-line. But other than that, because since they lost to Hawkins, their defense hasn't been that good. And the Cowboys are a very well-balanced team, but I don't think they're going to improve enough with the draft to get up there. And I think the Giants are probably going to have the biggest improvement out of all the teams. That's why I think we're going to win the division. That's just my opinion on it. It's probably not fact, but I think that's the most reasonable choice, picking the Giants. No one's probably going to pick us, though, to win the division. I think people are going to think we'll probably go 8-8, 9-7. But I think we're going to be much better. That's just my opinion, though. Who knows? Maybe that might happen. But I personally think it'll be a 10-6, 11-5 season. New York Giants all day. Big Blue Commission, out.